Hey business students, this is Jacob Clifford. I have a question for you. How much would it cost for you to produce a hamburger completely by yourself? What do you think? $5, $20, $50? Nope, keep in mind you're doing everything. You'd have to raise the cattle, grow the wheat, tomatoes, onions, and lettuce, cheese, ketchup, salt, and the pepper. Do you even know how to get pepper? Because I don't. If you don't live near a salt mine, you have to travel there. How are you going to get there? You're going to have to walk because you can't use a car because somebody else made that. And to bake the bun, you're going to need an oven, so you have to mine iron ore, smelt the steel, make the oven, and all the tools. And of course, if it's running on electricity, you have to build your own power plant. Producing just one hamburger on your own would probably cost millions and millions of dollars. The point is, no business does everything on their own. Every product depends on an entire network of people, businesses, machines, and resources that all work together. In this video, we're going to talk about supply chains and how businesses work together to get products in the hands of customers. Before we jump into it, if you're an AP student, you need help in any of your AP classes, take a look at the Ultimate Review Packet. If you're a teacher, take a look at my teacher resources. Most consumers only see the final product. So if you buy a burrito or shoes or the Ultimate Review Packet, that's all you see. What they don't see are all the businesses working behind the scenes to make that happen. That is called a supply chain. A supply chain is the network of businesses, people, and resources involved in producing and delivering a product to the final consumer. Every good and service has a supply chain. Some are really simple, like a barber really only needs clippers, scissors, a chair, and a few other supplies. Other supply chains are incredibly complex. Your smartphone contains hundreds of components that must be designed, manufactured, assembled, packaged, and delivered before it ever reaches your pocket. So supply chains are a big deal. If there's a problem, it can affect a lot of companies.
Back in March 2020, the pandemic entered the economy. That basically meant that the supply chains for almost everything were hugely disrupted. Grocery stores like Kroger, Safeway, Walmart, they might stock 30, 40, or 50,000 items. And suddenly they were struggling to put key items on their shelves.
Let's break it down and talk about each step in your standard supply chain. Most supply chains begin with raw materials. These are your natural resources used to create products. Things like timber, oil, cotton, and agricultural products. And anything that has a battery needs metals like lithium, copper, and rare earth minerals. So raw materials are really the starting point for production. After raw materials are collected, businesses called suppliers provide those raw materials or components to manufacturers. Think about a car. One supplier might provide the tires, another one the glass, another one the computer chip that goes inside. Suppliers provide the unfinished products that you need to produce the final product. Now, a manufacturer is the business that transforms raw materials and components into the finished good. Ford manufactures cars, Nike does shoes, and Apple makes electronics. But not all manufacturing looks the same. Some businesses have artisan production. It's the production process focusing on customization and skilled labor. Think a local bakery or custom furniture or somebody building a guitar by hand. Artisan production is not mass produced. These are things you might find on Etsy. They're usually high quality, but artisan production has higher costs and lower output. The opposite of that is mass production. It's using technology, machinery, and assembly lines to produce large quantities at a low cost. Mass production is how most of the things around you actually got here, and it's how businesses can sell to millions of people.
The Ford Model T. Instead of cars being carefully handcrafted on a workbench, a constant flow of chassis moved through the factory 24/7, and parts were added continuously. This genius idea took the total assembly time from 12 hours down to just 90 minutes, with a new car leaving the factory every 40 seconds.
After manufacturers produce the product, they usually hand it off to a distributor that sends it out. A distributor is a business that transports finished goods from the manufacturer to the wholesaler or retailer. These are the middlemen responsible for moving products all around the country and the world. Now, in many industries, there's also a wholesaler. A wholesaler is the business that buys goods in bulk and then resells it to the retailer. Because they're buying large quantities, they can get a lower price than if they just bought one at a time. Costco actually operates as both a retailer and a wholesaler depending on the customer.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Now, eventually the product makes it to the retailer, which is the business that sells the product to the end customer. So retailers are like Target and Walmart and your local grocery store. They're the final step in the supply chain. For you, retailers are the business that you're most likely to see, but as you plan out your business, think about other parts of the supply chain. Maybe you can start a business doing that. Through every stage of the supply chain, businesses rely on logistics. Logistics is the planning and management of how goods and services move from producers to customers. This includes transportation, warehousing, scheduling, and delivery. When logistics work, customers don't even notice. When it fails, everyone freaks out. Products arrive late, shelves are empty, and businesses lose money. Amazon is a business that's known for logistics. They can get any product anywhere in the country quickly.
Faster Prime, Prime now. 2-hour delivery. Prime now. Give it to me now. When I press buy, put the item in my hand.
A large part of logistics is keeping track of inventory. Inventory is a stock of goods that businesses keep on hand to sell or use in production. Businesses need inventory to meet customer demand. But that creates a problem. Too much inventory and it costs a lot to store. Too little inventory and you stock out. A stock out occurs when inventory falls below what the business or customers need. And if you stock out, you're going to lose money, so managing your inventory is a big deal. Now, as a small business grows, it has to increase its production. This process is called scaling operations. Scaling means expanding a business's capacity to produce or deliver goods and services while maintaining or improving efficiency. It sounds easy, but it's not. Going from selling 10 products to 100 products to 10,000 products, that's going to force you to scale. Okay, there's one more thing we have to talk about. Let's zoom out and talk about global supply chains. The clothes you're wearing right now were probably produced in another country, and so is the device that you're watching this video. Globalization refers to the increase in connections between countries through trade, technology, communication, and the movement of goods and services, people, and money. Globalization allows businesses to access new resources and new customers throughout the world. But that also means that some international event on the other side of the world might affect your supply chain.
Coffee prices skyrocketing almost 21% over the past year. Rising temperatures and droughts in Brazil, along with historic flooding in Vietnam, destroyed coffee crops in those top exporters.
Okay, let's put everything together. When you start your business, you're not going to do it all by yourself. You need to rely on other people or businesses, and that's a supply chain. And the better you are at understanding and managing your supply chain, the more customers you can help and the more profit you can earn. Okay, that's it for this video. It was a long one. If it was helpful, please do me a favor, give it a like and a comment, and be sure to subscribe. And if you're a student and you need more help, take a look at my ultimate review packet. If you're a teacher and need worksheets and activities, take a look at my teacher resources. Thanks for watching. Till next time.